Hi everybody, it's Budget Bunny here, and today's video is a request video, and I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of owning a rabbit. Just like with any animal, there are specific things that I feel are really important to address before adding this particular animal to your family. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the cons first. Rabbits are prey animals, which means they're very shy and they take a lot of time to build trust with. So you need to have a lot of patience with these animals and not get frustrated or grow upset because you don't feel that they're bonding with you fast enough. It's not that they don't like you, it's just that, oh, we got that one on camera. That's so cute. So yeah, it's not that they don't want to be friends with you, it's just that you are so much more intimidating to them. Vet bills may be costlier as they're considered an exotic pet. So for instance, when I take Genevieve to our vet, it's $42 for her to be seen. When I take my bunnies, any one of my rabbits, to the vet, it's $75 because exotic vets are harder to find and they generally charge more money because you have an exotic animal. So the next thing to know is that they need a lot more space than a pet store cage can provide. Rabbits to me are more comparable to a cat in the sense of space that they need. You can see how active they are. They need a lot of space. So the House Rabbit Society and Rabbit Rescue and any other major rabbit organization recommends that you have at least an X pen to keep them in. So they need enough space to hop at least 3 times in their cage. If you can put an extra level in, that's great because that helps them exercise their back legs. They need lots of chews and toys. Hi, Bud. It's so cute. They need lots of chews and toys to keep them busy. So you need the space for the cage, but you also need space to provide them with at least 2 to 3 hours of floor time every day. So another important thing to remember is that rabbits love to chew and dig. These are natural instincts for them, but they can create havoc in your house and they can be really dangerous for your bunny as well. So things like wires, carpet, ingesting any of those could be deadly to your rabbit, but you also don't want your house being ruined, I'm sure, as well. Rabbits do not like to be picked up. Ollie, I have to say, doesn't really mind it, but as a general rule, rabbits hate being picked up. It makes them feel really insecure, and again, because they're a prey animal, what it makes them feel like is they're being carried away. They're being carried away by some kind of predator. So if you love to snuggle and hold things and cuddle with them, or you have younger children, then perhaps a rabbit isn't the best thing for you. They've also got really delicate bone structures, so they can't take a lot of abuse. I did mention that they need daily exercise out of their cage so that they can run and play and stretch their legs. As you can see, my rabbits are pretty active when they're out during their exercise time. So imagine if they weren't allowed to have this time out of their cage every day. They do take a lot of work. Cats and dogs can pretty much live in your house, and they're just there. You know, they're trained to either go to the washroom outside or they're trained to use a litter box. They're not, once you get over like the kitten puppy stage, they're not really that destructive that you can leave them for a day and not really have to worry about them. Rabbits, on the other hand, unless you're really diligent with your house proofing, then I wouldn't recommend that you leave them out all the time, especially when you're not there, just because it can be really dangerous for your rabbit and they could do a lot of damage to your house. So that being said, you're going to have a cage setup that you're going to have to constantly be cleaning. Floor time takes a lot of work to set up and take down, especially if your rabbits aren't the best at using a litter box. So hay is something that rabbits should be fed in unlimited amounts, and it can be very costly, especially if you're buying it from the pet store or depending on the type of harvest and weather that you've had, it may be harder to find farm hay or good quality hay for a decent price. And your rabbit should be fed vegetables on a daily basis as well, and those can get costly, especially in the off seasons. I know that in the spring and summer months, one head of romaine lettuce for me usually costs 99 cents to $1.50, and right now they're up to $2.97 at our grocery store, because it's just not something that gets grown a lot at this time of year, so they usually have to ship it in from other areas. Rabbits are also a really big commitment. Unlike something like a hamster that lives to about 2 to 3 years of age, rabbits live 8 to 10 years of age, so you have to think about where you're going to be in 10 years. That's a big commitment. That's more like the commitment of a large dog than it is of a small pet. Rabbits should also be spayed or neutered to prevent unwanted behaviors. Once they reach sexual maturity around 5 to 6 months of age, those hormones can dictate their behavior and make it a very unpleasant living experience for you and your rabbit. I'm not going to get into spaying and neutering your rabbit too much because I do have a video on that, but if you're interested, you should find it in my list of videos because I think it's a really important video for people to know. I don't think a lot of people think when they're getting a rabbit that they're going to have to spay or neuter it, because a lot of small pets like guinea pigs and hamsters, you don't. But with rabbits, it would definitely be beneficial to your rabbit and to you to spay or neuter them. And that's going to be an additional cost. And again, you're going to have to find a vet that specializes in rabbits to do that properly. Rabbits are really social animals, so you need to consider how much time you're going to be able to spend with them. And if you're someone like me who has a full-time job, you're probably going to want to consider getting them a friend. And they are very territorial as well, so they're not as easy as just putting two of them together. They both need to be fixed first, whether you're going to pair up 2 females and 2 males or a male and female, they should still both be fixed. And you're going to have to introduce them on neutral ground and slowly build from there. Some rabbits, like people, just don't like one another. So you also have to consider the fact that they may not get along and you may have to provide additional housing for your second rabbit. Again, I don't really think that they're the greatest pet for young children. I think as long as the parent is going to be the one that's going to be responsible for the rabbit and is going to be there to supervise, that's fine. But if your child is looking for something really cuddly and fun to play with and things like that, I don't think that rabbits are generally the best, child animal to start off with, because they are very delicate and they don't like to be handled. And as well, depending on where you live, they may need annual vaccines. And they definitely, regardless of that, should be taken to the vet once a year for a health checkup. So if you live in North America, you won't need to worry about yearly vaccines. But I know if you're in the UK and I think Australia as well, there's something called myxomatosis, which is deadly to rabbits and really serious. So you would have to get your rabbits vaccinated against that. So now on to the pro part of this video. So this is my favorite part because obviously you guys know I am a rabbit lover. I don't want to dissuade anyone from getting a rabbit. I just think these are important things to consider because I don't think a rabbit is the right pet for everyone. Ollie is under the tunnel pushing it up. You're so silly, Bun Bun. You are so silly. So, sometimes the cons can be a pro as well. So rabbits do live to be 8 to 10 years old, and if you're looking for a long-term pet, then I think they're a good pet to choose. I know some smaller animals like hamsters, for instance, only live about 2 years, 3 to 4 if you're really lucky, and I believe that's about the same with rats or mice. So if you're looking for something that's going to last a little longer and be an established part of your family, then a rabbit is a great choice for that. So rabbits also don't take the work or commitment that you would need with something like a puppy, where you're constantly having to train them to go outside, you're cleaning up messes, and you can also leave them for longer periods of time than you would be able to with a dog, because you could really leave them for overnight or a weekend if you wanted to, without having to have someone constantly home with them. Oh my goodness, to check on them. If you're going to be away for more than 1 or 2 nights, though, I would definitely say to have someone come in. But again, if you're going away somewhere, like on vacation, you could have someone come in on a daily basis to look after your rabbits, whereas your dog would really need to live with somebody or be boarded. Once they're tame, they are very loving, wonderful animals. And if you guys watch my videos, you would know how big of sucks they are. They are absolutely just sweethearts, and I absolutely love them. I just think they are amazing pets, and they're worth all the work that you have to go through with them. You just have to go about caring for them a little differently than you would with, say, a cat or a dog. I think the binkies, hops, flops, and bunny 500s they do around the house are hilarious, and Willow has certainly been demonstrating those today. It's very entertaining to watch. They are very quiet animals, so they make great apartment pets. Unlike a dog who, you know, could be running around and creating a big noise or barking, things like that, rabbits are very quiet, so they're great if you have a smaller home too. You don't have to take them outside. So right now, the thing that we're struggling with is we got, 35 centimeters of snow yesterday, and I still have to walk the dogs around the block, even though the snow is about as tall as they are and is coming over my boots. I don't have to worry about that with the bunnies. They can live indoors and they're litter box trained, and they have a great home to stay in. So that brings me to my next one, is they can be litter box trained. Mine are really good when they're in their cage, not so great during floor time. So one thing to consider is the fact that they may be pretty good at using their litter box, but there's very few rabbits out there that I think are 100% all the time. So rabbits are most active at dawn and dusk. So this is great for most people because the majority of us, I think, work during the day, or you may be going to school during the day, and your rabbit will be most active and excited to play during the evenings or early in the morning before you're away from your house. Rabbits don't have a smell to them. If your rabbit has a smell in their cage, then it's probably because you're not cleaning it enough or you're not changing their litter box enough, but they don't actually have a smell to them as some rodents do. There are also a variety of sizes, colors, and breeds to choose from, so you can go from floppy ears to sticky up ears, tiny little bunnies, even smaller. Willow's only 2 pounds, but there are some bunnies that are smaller than her that range up to Flemish Giants, which can be like up to 40 pounds, and they come in all different colors and patterns. A rabbit's poop can make really great fertilizer for your garden. And finally, they can be trained like a cat or dog to do tricks. They actually have a larger brain than a cat, if you can believe that. And so they are very intelligent. It's just that they have their own way of doing things. So that's all the pros and cons I have for owning a rabbit. Again, I obviously think rabbits make excellent pets. I just think that everyone needs to do their research first, because I think a lot of people just have a different expectation of how their rabbit should behave, and they get a little disappointed when they don't behave that way. So I hope you guys found the video to be educational and give you a good amount of information, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.